So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts it into this king's heart that, there's some sense in the words of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, and he calls for Yusuf alayhi salam to come out of the prison. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam refused and says, I'm not going to come out until it is established that I was not guilty in that case. What was the story of that woman who tried to seduce me? And, I need my name cleared. Once my name is cleared, then I'm prepared to come out of prison. Yeah? That shows that to do such a thing, it is fine. This is part of the traits taught to us by Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And what happens is that the whole story is investigated again, and then it is found that it was in actual fact the minister, the wazir's wife, that was actually guilty of trying to seduce him. And Yusuf alayhi salam indeed was free from any sort of wrongdoing at that time, and he is free now, and he should actually walk out as a free man, guilt-free and without any sort of stigma attached to the fact that he has been in prison for so many years. It is mentioned in some narrations that all the people, including the guards, cried at the time that Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam walked out of the prison, because of the way he used to look after and take care of the inmates that were there. Today, do we take care of the inmates of our homes? Do we take care, or do we feel that, I am the breadwinner, or I am the leader, or I am in my position at work, for example, maybe a person is a team manager, maybe a leader, maybe the CEO or whatever it is, then do we start acting and behaving like, everyone must work and serve us? This is again something that we are taught. Imagine, he was a Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yet another test to spend years in the prison, and we know the prisons aren't the most comfortable of places. And people need to stop calling Palestine a prison. It isn't a prison. Why? People call it the world's biggest open-air prison. Because in a prison, you get fresh water, you get hot food, you get a whole lot of other services in the prison. I remember the police telling us once, when all this trouble was happening next door, they say that a lot of time, as it comes closer to Christmas, they find a sudden increase in people stealing, getting caught, and ending up in prison. You know why? Because on Christmas Day, here outside they've got no one that wants them. They go inside prison, they will get a full Christmas meal, and they will get Christmas presents and so many good things. And yet, what is happening to the state of our pensioners? So we should put all our pensioners into the prisons and take all the prisoners out and put them in old age homes. Yeah, they must pay to get the service. Old age homes, how much should they charge? Do you know how much they charge? There's one in Derby that charges £2,000 a week. How much? £2,000 a week. Subhanallah. And the prisoner, he pays nothing. He just does a crime, he does something wrong, and he gets everything on a golden platter. They get all the TV channels. They don't have to pay TV license fee. They get hot food, they get hot water, they get everything. You'll be surprised at what they don't get. Subhanallah. Allah Ta'ala grant us the ability to honor our elders. Allahil Azim, no sooner will a people start throwing away their elders into old age homes, will we find that Allah's azab will come on us. If you have an elder in your home, think of it as Allah Ta'ala has put a physical form of barakah, of mercy, of rahmah and karam in your home. 9 years ago, this very day, I lost that very same thing. And that was my father-in-law. On the 16th fast of Ramadan, that night we had to bury him. In the afternoon he passed away. That night after taraweeh we buried him 9 years ago today. And from that moment onwards, then you realize how different life is, without an elder and a senior person in your house. Wallahi al-Azim, if you have this opportunity, make as much qadr and shukr as you can of our elders. Wallahi al-Azim, qadr is not made. Our elders are being thrown away into old age homes. It is becoming tradition for us because we are living in a society where everyone else does it, so we also want to do that. Everyone else is jumping in the fire, let's also jump in the fire. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. We need to honor and respect our elders. May Allah Ta'ala grant my marhum father-in-law and all marhumeen Jannatul Firdaus, inshallah. Khair, the story of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, from the prison he is made into the minister of what we may call agriculture. He is given such a lofty position. He is put there and the king says, everything is at your disposal now. What do you want for the 7 years? Everything is there ready for you. And you know what? He used to take a very nominal amount of salary for himself. Today, if we are put in that position, what happens? If you become someone of high-ranking position, you want all that kind of money also. Oh, I got big responsibility, I must get all that money. Subhanallah, he used to take a nominal amount from the Baytul Mal. And for 7 years, they carefully stored grain. And after that, 7 years of good and nourishing crop was produced. And when the famine came, then people started coming from neighboring areas, neighboring countries, asking for, some ration. And they would give out a ration, but there's some sort of, as in today's time, you have to show, as we have at our food bank, if someone wants a food parcel, they need to show some sort of proof of ID to say by who you are. You say you have a family, then show that you have child benefit, then you'll be getting that sort of thing, so that we can give the appropriate amount to the people that come. So khair, one day Yusuf alayhi salam is there, and he sees 10 young, handsome looking men walking to his court, into his palace, and they are asking for grain. And Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, now he's grown up, 40 years since the incident took place, but he recognized and he caught on that these are my brothers. But he didn't say anything to them. If it was us, yachana, remember what you did to me, I want to fix you up. You come here, now you're at my disposal, let me finish you up. Astaghfirullah. Yusuf alayhi salam teaches us 40 years later. He teaches us what? That he receives them warmly. And he tells his people that are working there, take all their wealth and put it back into their bags. And he didn't say, because I'm the boss here, I'm not going to pay and no one's going to pay. He said, I will pay from my own pocket for what these 10 people will take away. He says, to ask them, what is your story, who is your family? He said, no, we 11 brothers, and we got our parents, elderly. They said, but where's your 11th brother? He said, no, our 11th brother, our father, don't let him go anywhere. So khair, he knew what was happening there. He told him, all right, okay, this time I'll give you some grain, but next time if you want, you need to bring your 11th brother. He's missing his brother Binyamin, or better known as Benjamin. And he's missing his brother, so he says, no, you must bring him next time. He said, but our father won't let him come. He said, doesn't matter, then don't come back for any more grain, you won't get any grain. So they went home. They said to their father that, we went, and he was such a good man, and he was so kind to us, and he gave us a grain and everything, but he said, next time we won't get unless we take Benjamin with us. I said, no, I let Yusuf go with you all that time, and look what happened. You never brought him back. I don't want this to happen. So then, now they worried, now what they're going to do. So they started unpacking the grain. And when they did that, then they saw, hey, all our wealth is back in the bags. These people have given us all our wealth, and we went to pay, we went to purchase all this grain. They gave it back to us. They didn't charge us anything. Then now, after all this time, they have changed. Their akhlaq has changed. And they say, no, we need to go and return this to, this minister who has given us all of this grain. He didn't charge us for this. It's only right we return that amana. Today, imagine you go home and you bought some things in your trolley, and you saw on your receipt and it says only 3 items. But I've got 5 items sitting here. I forget it, man. That supermarket, they're massive, man. What are they going to lose in 4 pounds of grocery? In 10 pounds of grocery? They're not going to lose anything. Doesn't matter. No, that is wrong. That is haram. That is stealing. You have brought it home. You know about it. They don't know about it, but you know about it. It is considered stealing. The right thing for you to do is go back to the store. Then tell them that this is what has happened. You charged me for 3. I had 5. I owe you £5, £10, £2, 50p, £1. Whatever the case may be, here is the money. If they say, no, it doesn't matter, out of your honesty, we give it to you free of charge, that is fine. But you have to make sure you go back to them. Say, I can give it back to you, or I'm happy to take it because I need it, that's fine. Yeah, and you pay the money, that's fine. Now, these brothers, the next time came when they needed to go. The father said, this time you better make sure you don't come back without him. You make sure you look after him. I don't want to hear stories, this happened, that happened. You look after him. So they went. Now, he said, as we say in this day and age, nazar. There mustn't be no nazar ni lagi jaye. Nazar na lag jaye. Yeah. So when you go in, people will see 11 handsome boys all walking in at one time. A couple of you go from one entrance, couple of you go the other time. Give a bit of time as you're going in, so people don't make you out to be, this. Can you imagine if someone walks in, mashallah, you have so many young, handsome, strong boys, you think, oh, mashallah, that's very good. So there mustn't be any sort of nazar. Now Yusuf alayhi salam spots Binyamin. He calls him one side. He says, listen here, I'm your brother Yusuf. Yusuf alayhi salam. Subhanallah. He says, but keep quiet, don't tell your brothers anything. I'm going to make a plan to keep you back here and let your brothers go back home. He said, but what about our father, family, mother? Don't worry about them. So what happens? They come in and they're called in, and Yusuf alayhi salam says, oh, well done, you brought your brother, excellent, you kept your word and everything. Come and join us for a feast. And in all of that, one of the items that was used at the table for serving the king, one of these things was used for serving the king and the ministers. One of these things was taken and put into the sacks of Binyamin. Now, when they were leaving, فَأَذَّنَ مُؤَذِّنٌ أَيَّتُهَا الْعِيرُ. A caller, not أَذَّنَ مُؤَذِّن, someone doesn't know Quran, will say the muazzin called out the azan. No, a caller called out, أَيَّتُهَا الْعِيرُ, oh, you group of people, إِنَّكُمْ لَسَارِقُونَ. You are thieves. You are definitely thieving. You come here and you're stealing? They said, no, impossible, we never do such a thing. They got frightened. Oh, what's going to happen? Now the thing comes out from whose bag? Binyamin's bag. I said, oh, sorry, well, he has to stay behind. The other said, no, please take any one of us. Just not Binyamin, don't take him away from us, because we have to fulfill our duty to our father. We gave him our word that we won't leave. I said, no, it's not right. In our kingdom, the punishment is given to the person, the perpetrator who has carried out the wrong. We cannot punish another brother because this brother did it, so he'll have to stay behind. Now Yehuda, the eldest brother, he felt even more ashamed, he stayed behind. The other brothers now go home, the other 9 brothers go home, they relate the story to the father, and the father is even more shocked, cries even more. You must know he's been crying all these years, begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but never becoming despondent of the mercy of Allah. Don't become despondent of the mercy of Allah. 40 years he lost his eyesight, but he didn't lose his faith in Allah. Today we will lose nothing, but we will only lose our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala save us from this. He kept his full faith that Allah Rabbul Izzah will definitely return my son. He saw a dream. When he was a young man, he saw a dream. That dream still has to be fulfilled. It's got to be actually played out in real life. So how is that going to happen? It's going to happen because Allah Ta'ala will make it happen somehow. Then these brothers, eventually they go home and they see their father and they see he's in this condition, and then they go back to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and all the brothers, the 10 brothers are begging there, let our brother come home, our father is ill, he is sickly and whatever. And then Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam took them by surprise. He says, Ma fa'altum bi Yusuf. All of them are shocked. Because when they did that to Yusuf alayhi salam, threw him in the well, they all took an oath amongst themselves, right? No one's going to mention anything. One of the brothers said, we all have to take an oath now. Never going to tell anyone. When you were a kid, you went out, you did some masti, and something happened, and then you all friends made a pact. We ain't going to tell anyone who did this, no matter what. We're not going to spy anyone out. Same thing here. We're not going to tell anyone. Yusuf alayhi salam, a stranger to them now, says to him, what did you do to Yusuf? They're shocked. He says, قَالَ أَنَا يُوسُف وَهَذَا أَخِي. He says, I am Yusuf and this is my brother Binyamin. Subhanallah, one side they're tearing out of happiness, one side they're tearing out of sadness and regret. That one side they found their brother Yusuf alayhi salam, what they thought of him, and today where he has become, how Allah Ta'ala has elevated him. Insan can do nothing to elevate you. It is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَتُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرُ. Allah Ta'ala has full control over who is given honor and respect, and who has that taken away from them, who is given zillat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us only honor and respect. Ameen.